Hello, Collab Design for Literacy Designers. This is Marcos, and this is our week 2 to week 3 recap briefing video. And I just want to go through what we discussed in our last week 2 class and recap the assignment that's due for next week and just talk about overall what you should be doing to stay on track and to progress your baby board book design. So here's a quick recap of what we're doing. We presented our research concept deck last week at our class and had just lots of great ideas and interesting research and just a lot of good foundational starts to all of your assignments. And I feel like everyone's have started on a good track. And the key now is to develop those concepts further into more of a finalized design by setting up storyboards and creating some initial design development layout. So that's kind of our task for this week. So the key then is for you to next understand the feedback and the response you got from me and fellow students and incorporate that into your next steps on how you can choose a direction, further develop that direction, or in some cases, maybe new inspiration will strike and you'll have another direction or a revised direction that's based on what you thought about in class or when developing your storyboards, and you took it further. The key there is I want to encourage new ideas, but I also don't want to have that continue to happen. So let's try to figure out what we're doing this week. And if you want to share with me what you think might be a better option, please email me or send me a Slack and I'll get back to you on that. So the next step then will be to let's refine and finalize our book concept statement, and if it's changed in any way, so we just have like a good solid statement. And then we're going to create a storyboard for your book and create those preliminary design sketches or layouts that are examples of your book ideas come to life. And a reminder that I'll be away in Puerto Rico this Thursday night. So we will have remote classes where we'll have a Zoom session. I will be sending out a schedule that breaks up the class in threes, and you'll be part of a small group that will present together with me and with my daughter Demi, who's part of DIRT and has been working on DIRT for many years. And she's also a kindergarten teacher and has a lot of great insights to kind of give feedback at this earlier stage on your book development. So that'll be cool. A Zoom session coming up on Thursday. So everyone work in your own space. No need to come to the classroom. And so let's look at what we did last week. So everyone should have this done by now. You should have your deck developed with your research, your design inspiration, and your concept statements. And of course, that ever important thank you page. And now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to build on this presentation. I want you to add on to this before the thank you page, add on the next steps so that we're creating a full comprehensive presentation that will end up telling the full story of your design by the end of the assignment and will be what you'll use for your final review and also for this project and also for the finals at the end of the class when you'll present all your work at once. So important to keep building this as a deck. So we're going to create, let's skip the page, there we go. We're going to create storyboards. So start creating your book by working out the way your book will be structured and organized. So this is important to start to make a plan. Your book will be set at 16 total pages. Now that includes the cover and the back. So it's 14 pages of story spreads. That will be the content, and the cover and the back will be separate from that. So 7 spreads total that you have to work out, and consider how you want images and text to work as double page spreads. Like remember now these board books, they're each is the page, and you can look at each page or each open spread as different pages, or like in this book, you can look at it as a full spread, depending on like how, here's an example of a page approach, and here's an example of kind of incorporating a spread. So just think about how you want to use that dynamic. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You could create ways of separating the pages so that they have a solid difference between the two, but they're still spreads. Obviously, they're going to be spreads, but it's a matter of how you think about them. So structure that out and start thinking about that as you create your storyboards, and more importantly, as you create your design layouts. So Once you have your storyboard worked out, create initial layouts of your baby board book, beginning with the cover and a sample or two of the cover and some spreads. Take the feedback given at your first review and develop design layout options that are executions that are a reflection of your written design concept. And then use the techniques and tactics you present in your inspiration mood boards, if applicable. Explore options on how your design can be executed by experimenting with various ways of using type, color, and illustration. So this is the time where you're going to develop that art style, that way that you're going to illustrate, that way you're going to create design layouts. So try to be innovative, try to tap into the talents and the sort of work you've done in the past. That's always good, but don't be afraid also to push into a new level of creating imagery that will push you into just trying something experimental and different. But do it in a way where you know you could finish and create your project by the end of the project. So in the storyboards, we looked at this in class, but basically you can do a very simple one like this that just has to do with kind of planning and where you're going to put your items and then move on to the design. Or you could begin to think about your design and create more of these traditional kind of storyboards that utilize rough but fairly kind of still accurate sketches of how you want your spreads to actually look. So in these layouts, you can see that the layouts are kind of intended to reflect what the design is going to be, and is meant to not just show what's going to be on each page, but start to build upon how those pages will actually look. And this is one that is just an example of the sort of highest level of storyboard that I've ever seen, with these kind of really nice, beautiful, accurate sketches. And if you look at the book here in my hand, you can see that basically what she designed on her cover sketch is exactly what she designed on her storyboard, and the same with basically the rest of these spreads. They're all kind of reflecting the exact thing that she did in her story. But now don't think that that's what you have to do here. I'm actually suspicious. Did she design the book and then go backwards and put it there? I know she didn't, but this is definitely what you don't have to do, like completely commit to what you're going to design in your sketch and then lay it out. But if that's how you work and that's how this person did it, then great. But this is just sort of one way of looking at it. Again, you can make it rougher. You can even be right down to just basic wireframe kind of storyboard development. Okay, so then I want you to start working on creating layouts for your inside of your book. And you can do that in a rough way, combining typography, illustration. The illustrations don't have to be finalized and finished, but this is the thing that you need to do in terms of developing your layouts in a way that's going to allow you to then be able to understand how your book is going to come together. And then if you want to make it even more accurate towards what your design is, of course, you can do that. And you can do that by creating your layouts in InDesign and or in Illustrator, if that's how you work, and using the typography and the colors and the vector art, or however you develop it in the exact way. And here you can see that this person is developing their design using literally the InDesign file template that we provide. You can see the cover on the top here has the dirt logo on the bottom corner of the cover and on the spine, and the back text is there. So I provided that for you in the Canvas assignment link for this week, and you can click on that and download an InDesign template and start using that. And what's good about that, the pages are all there, the exact amount of pages, the size, everything's developed, and you'll need to stick with having this dirt logo in the bottom corner. So think about that if that's important. On the spine, there'll be the dirt logo at the bottom, and this text here has to stay here. You can put elements above it, but try to keep everything exactly where it is, because that's going to have to be how it is. And then from there, there's 7 of these spreads. You see 2 here, but there's 7 spreads in the inside as well. So that's all on the canvas, as I said, and there's also a video link to turn to looking at the past, looking at these past dirt books, and with the page through videos that we made. If you want to take a look at some of those, you get inspiration. There's the PDF from the initial lecture on baby board book design, if you want to get refreshed on that. And work through that. There's also the Google Drive link there as well. Here's the template, what it looks like. We talked about this in class. Keep in mind that the bleed is something you have to factor in. So if you're doing a design, like this, then the bleed is not so important. Basically, you just open these boxes up and they don't affect your layouts. But if you're doing illustrations that cover the whole page, then you have to know that if you're going to make it exact to size, we're going to have to enlarge your pages and cut off part of your illustrations or part of your design. So keep that in mind. The bleed has got to be extended quite a ways more than maybe typically in printing, because these baby board books are thick and it requires more tolerance. So the covers here, and this is again just showing how you have the spine and the cover and the back all on one spread, and that the spine, you can put your text running up and down here, starting from the top, running down. Put your name of your book, but also design in your name itself, so that you're showcasing like who designed the book and what the title is, and you can have that on the spine. You don't have to have it on the front if you don't want, but you can if you want. But remember that putting credit for yourself is going to be important. All right, so this is the layout of what you'll be creating. The storyboards here on the top left, and then there's two different options here for what the covers will look like, and this is a chance for you to explore different ideas in terms of layout and color. And it doesn't show it here, but you can also try different illustration techniques, and then to create a set of 2 to 3 spreads that show how the inside of your book will work. And this is just the idea of showing how you will be developing and adding on to your past deck by creating additional spreads at the bottom. I've got the link put into the Canvas. You'll put everything in the Part 2 concept development file in Google Drive, and there will be also the link to the page through videos like the one you see here, so that you can check out other books from the past and get inspiration or information from that as needed and understand how these books work. And this is where it's located on YouTube under my YouTube channel. And that link is on the Canvas. And that's it pretty much. This is the wrap up. Make sure you get the storyboard done. Make sure you have your preliminary design sketches and layouts created. And I have it all loaded up on the Google Drive, ready for review on Thursday. We'll get together on Zoom, and I will send that out, the teams or the groups, and we will be seeing you then. So thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you online on Zoom on Thursday night. See you later.